Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Chad back here with BetUS.com, and we are in the Betflix section. As you can tell, I've got a unique prop in my hand, which is a golf club, and for good reason, as we get ready for the 2011 Masters, the first major of the 2011 golf season, and it's going to bring a lot of excitement to the betting world. Now, as you guys can tell just by looking at me, I am far from an athletic figure. So when I was a youngster growing up, the one sport, I guess you can call it a game in golf, is one that I have played for a long period of time and I'm actually half decent at. So I understand the game, and I've actually been throwing it down on some tournaments over the last few years, cashing in some winners. And the great thing about betting on golf here, even if you're the most casual fan, you're going to be interested in this tournament. The Masters is played at Augusta National, one of the most prestigious courses in the world, and it gives everybody an opportunity to get acquainted with it because we see it every single year, the same holes over and over again, instead of the other majors constantly switching, which leaves the fans sort of guessing and not exactly knowing what's going on all the time. So, you guys are probably sitting back and thinking, how is it even possible to make money in a golf tournament when only one person wins and there's over 100 people in the field? Well, the first answer is it's not easy. But you know what? It can be done. And the great thing about all this is you don't need to risk a lot of money, and you can really play on some long shots that I believe have an opportunity to come through here. And I'm going to explain to you guys why this futures market can be rather lucrative when it comes to the Masters. And you're not betting this like it's basketball or football where there's spreads, or hockey or baseball where there's money lines. It's strictly betting on a long shot, a futures odd, where in my opinion it makes more wise decision to take a budget, I don't know, $50, $60, pick 6 golfers you like, and bet $10 on each one. And at the worst case scenario, you're probably not going to be betting on too many guys at under 200 or 20 to 1 odds, so you're going to be cashing in at least $200 if one of them comes through. And you know, if you do this over a month period of time and you pick one winner every single month, you're going to be at least breaking even, if not having a profit. So moving into this week, who do we like and what sort of strategies can we use? Well, first of all, I'll say this. Since the Masters is played at the same course every year, there's a distinct advantage to players that have played this course multiple times, because they've had the opportunity to see it, they've experienced it, and they know the golf course far better than players that are in it for their first time. And that is completely different when you talk about any of the other majors that go on the golf scene on an annual basis, because the playing field gets leveled out a little bit because of the fact that there's not a distinct advantage over players that have seen it year and year again. Plus, it's more of a selective group that gets invited to it, whereas the U.S. Open and the British Open, literally anybody can go and qualify for. So you see a lot more long shots coming through there. And on top of that, the scores are often well over par, so sometimes there's a little bit more luck involved. I don't see that being the case with the Masters, so that's why I always look to take guys that are birdie machines, that can go low and post those mid to high and even low 60s scores that are often required, because you're going to need to be at least 7, 8, 9, 10 under par at this tournament here. So who do we like this week? Well, I'm going to give you guys 2 videos here. The first one is going to be my top 6 players in terms of young guys that have some upside that I believe are going to win majors at some time during their career. And I think that this week obviously presents a great opportunity for that to happen. And you know what? I'm going to steer away from the favorites in this tournament, the top 3 being Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, and Lee Westwood. Phil just won last week, and it's incredibly difficult to win 2 weeks in a row. Furthermore, duplicating and winning 2 times in a row at the Masters. So let's just eliminate him right off the bat. Tiger Woods, I actually think he's going to play well. I expect a top 10 finish from him, but I don't think he's got quite the game right now to get all the way back and win a major. And Lee Westwood, this guy always seems to choke, and I believe if he's ever going to come through with the major, it's going to be hoisting the claret jug on his own soil in North America. And anytime you're not even getting 20 to 1 odds, there really isn't that much value, especially for someone like Westwood that's never even won a major, that's had a tough time closing out. So I'm going to look at guys that are at least at the bare minimum, and we're going to start with Nick Watney at 17 to 1 odds here. And the reason why we like Nick Watney here is the fact that this guy has finished no worse than 19th at a Masters in his entire career, even though it's only been a couple events. So what's that saying? This guy is in contention all the time. He has the game to step up and win a major in his career. He's only 29 years old. He had an opportunity last year in a couple majors. He stumbled down the stretch, but I believe he has the mental toughness to come back, and if he's in the mix in the final rounds, at 17-1 odds, you can't go wrong with him. This year in general, he's been absolutely on fire. He's finished no worse than 13th in any single event yet, and he's even won a WGC event, which is a World Golf Tour event, which means the field's very strong because you're getting a lot of the European and Asian players all playing on one tour, not just the PGA, where sometimes you get more watered-down field. Take a look at Nick Watney. Another American that I absolutely love here is Matt Kuchar. This guy has been absolutely rock solid the last couple of years after a bit of a stumbling start to his career. And he's had already 6 top 10s this year. Last year he won the money list order. He had the most tour earnings out of any player, and he's finished no worse than tied for 35th this year. And he finished tied for 25th or better in every single major last year. No other golfer did that on the entire tour. So what's that saying? This guy's a rock-solid player. And furthermore, what I love about Matt Kuchar is this guy is from Georgia. It's almost like a home event for him. He's going to have the crowd behind him. And if you go all the way back to 1998, when he was an amateur at Georgia Tech, he won the low amateur. He's acquainted with this golf course. And if there's one major he's going to step up and win at 35-1 odds, please sign me up for Matt Kuchar. $10 bet pays me out $350. Limited risk, high reward. We like Matt Kuchar. And obviously, Dustin Johnson. We saw what this guy did last year at the U.S. Open. He basically choked in the final round. He was there again at the PGA. This guy's a young stud. He hits the ball 350 yards off the tee. He is solid. He can put up birdies. Even if he has a few bad holes, he has the ability to come back and kill the par 5s at this course and pick up eagles and birdies. He's finished tied for 38th or better in every single major last year. He doesn't miss cuts in these big events. He's already had 3 top 10s this year. So that's 3 of the 6 that we like. Another couple of favorites, Hunter Mahan. He's had back-to-back top 10 finishes at the Masters. He's knocking on the doorstep. And here's a guy that has just as much game as Watney and Johnson. I put him in that American group of guys that are about 25 to 30 years old that can hit the ball a mile, put up birdies. They've already won multiple times on the PGA, so they don't have to worry about this ever being their first event being won. So take a long, hard look at him. And another guy that I like here is Justin Rose. Here's a guy that's coming into this tournament in hot form right now. With 3 straight top 30s, and he's had a couple of top 5s in those as well, back-to-back as a matter of fact, and he's finished no worse than tied for 25th the entire year. No, wait, once tied for 42nd, but every other event this year tied for 25th. I mean, that is rock-solid golf, finishing top 25 out of a field of 144 every single year. This guy's got the game to put the ball near the pin and challenge for the green jacket this year. So he's the 5th guy on the list. And the 6th guy we can throw in there, he's a little bit older, but I think that he's definitely someone that cannot be counted out, is Jeff Ogilvy. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's already won a major at 71-1 odds. That is absolutely absurd. Anytime you have that much game and you have the composure to win majors, he's already had 3 of the last 4 events he's finished tied for 20th or better. He's coming in with good current form. He's had 5 straight top 39 finishes. I believe the odds are a little bit out of whack here because he hasn't had great showings at the Masters in the past. But you know what? This guy can definitely come in and play a clutch round. 71-1 odds. Sign me up. So those are my top 6 top bets of the young players that still have some upside. And in the second video, we'll get into a bit more long shots and veterans who definitely have an opportunity to win here. So guys, make sure to check out BetUS.com for these odds. You got to get them in before Thursday because that's when the first tee-off time happens. And make sure to check out my website, IndieOT.com. You guys can follow me on Twitter as well. Check out the Facebook page. And if you guys have any questions as well and you're not quite sure how it all works, feel free to send me an email. I have no problem helping you guys out because I really love golf and I love throwing it down at the Masters every single year. And it just adds excitement, 10, 20 bucks here and there. You have a guy to cheer for the whole weekend and it makes things very entertaining. So you might as well check out BetUS.com and throw down, a couple 5-6 bets. You don't want to get crazy with it. Just keep it short and limited, like I said. Chad here with BetUS.com. Make sure to check out the second video for a couple more picks.